Hello everyone, this side Diksha, Huja. I hope you all are doing fine. So today's topic of the video is Chapter 1 Introduction to Statistics Part 2. If you want to see my first part, you can see in the description box. And to see the content also, you can go through the part 1 of the chapter. If you like my video, first one and the second one both, do like and subscribe my channel. So today's topic to be covered are importance of statistics and limitations of statistics. As I said, you can see my part 1 of the video to see the other parts covered of the chapter. So students, let us start with the first topic, that is importance of statistics in this video. Statistics has emerged as a lifeline for economics. Why we are saying this thing? Statistics is an important part of economics because economics is incomplete without statistics. Since we cannot conclude statistical terms or economic terms without the data available. So it is important to know the importance of statistics. That is why it is needed in day-to-day life. So first one, statistics helps to give quantitative expression. That means it gives numbers to economic problem. Secondly, it provides intersectoral and intertemporal comparisons. That means if we want intersectors data, that means rural urban data, we need statistics. Then thirdly, it helps in constructing economic theories. Fourthly, it helps in formulation of policies, that is, it is important for the government as well. Then lastly, it also helps to know the cause of any economic problem and the effect of the same. So let us understand all these five importance with proper examples from the next slide. So students, let us start with the first importance of statistics, that is quantitative expression to economic problem. It says statistics provide numbers to economic problem. Let us understand this with few examples. Let's say if I speak the sentence that unemployment is rising by 15%. This is giving a numerical value to economic problem. If I say inflation is increasing in the economy, it is incomplete without I say that inflation is rising by 6% in the economy. That is, the statistics provide magnitude of economic problem, that is by how much it is increasing or how much it is decreasing by giving numbers. Let's talk about the second importance of statistics, that is, it provides intersectoral and intertemporal comparisons. Now, what does this mean? It says that after giving quantitative expression to the economic problem, statistics also divides that data into different sectors such as rural and urban, or male and female, and many other versions. On the other hand, it can also divide in the time series data. Now, what is time series data? Intertemporal comparison. That means, let's say if I'm comparing unemployment over the years, let's say comparing it from 1991 to 2000, then 2001 to 2010, and going further. So, statistics provides intersectoral and intertemporal comparisons to economic problems, dividing it into different sectors or different time periods. So, the third importance of statistics that it helps in the construction of economic theories and economic models. Let us understand this importance with the help of an example. There's a law in economics called law of demand, which says that there is an inverse relation between price and demand, and which gives demand curve to be downward sloping. This law of demand says that if price rises, the quantity demanded falls, and vice versa. For example, if the price of, let's say, 5 star you're purchasing rises from rupees 5 to rupees 10, then you might decrease the quantity demanded from 5 to 4 when the price has risen. So it can be said that law of demand says price and demand are inversely related. And without the data available in the economy or at a micro level, we can't tell that this law of demand works or not. So it can be said that the construction of economic theories is impossible without statistics. Till now you have done three importance of statistics. So let's do the fourth importance now. That says that statistics is important for the government as well, the politicians as well. So let us know that how the statistics is important for government also. So government wants statistics for few reasons. Let's say government want to decide whether to increase taxes or decrease taxes. Then they will ask statistician to just check what is the earning capacity of the people. Using the data, they can see whether the earning capacity is more or less of the people, and according to that, they can change the policy either to increase the taxes or decrease the taxes. The fifth importance says that statistics helps to cause and affect any relationship. Now what does this mean? Let us understand with the following example. Let us say there is one variable, investment, and this can be changed because of any other variable. Let's say if I take an example that investment has reduced in the economy. So let's find out the reason, that what can be the cause of decrease in investment. It can be either because of decrease in aggregate demand, or because of increase in real interest rate, or many other reasons. So whether the investment decrease is because of the demand decrease or interest rate increase or any other factor, statistics help in this. So with data of all these variables, we can see that the investment has decreased because of which variable. So it can be said that investment has fallen because of, let's say, decrease in demand, because statistics, the data says that. So next. The next topic we're gonna do is limitations of statistics after the importance. So let us understand the limitations of statistics and firstly know what are the limitations. Statistics deals with only quantitative data. Statistics deals with only aggregate of facts, that is, it doesn't take into account single numbers. Statistics results are true on an average, that means it not be perfect always. Then statistics can be misused by the economists or statisticians, and only experts can use the statistics, not a quack. Next, last is data should be uniform and homogeneous, and this topic will also end up our chapter. So now let's understand the limitations of statistics one by one. If you're happy, or if you're sad, or you're intelligent, or you are ugly, or you are beautiful, or you're honest, you have ethics, you have respect for others, all these qualitative data have nowhere space in statistics. That means statistics ignore all these qualitative aspects and only comprises of quantitative data, that is numbers. So this is, we can say that statistics deals with only quantitative data and not the qualitative aspects like happiness, sadness, etc. So next, second limitation is statistics deals with only aggregate of facts. That means it does not take the singles numbers into account. Let's take an example for this. You must be seeing these two pictures. First consists of a girl and second consists of a classroom in which many students are sitting. So I can compare these two in this way. Let's say a girl has scored 40 marks in English. On the other hand, let's say this 40 students of a class have scored this marks in English. So can we conclude anything from a single number? No. But yes, I can conclude from the entire class data that let's say that Raman has got the highest marks. So statistics do not take single numbers because it does not make any conclusion. The third limitation says that statistical results are true on an average. Statistics के results on an average ही true होते हैं, हमेशा true नहीं होते. Why? Because statistics is not universal science. It is not natural science. So we can say statistical laws are not exact always. For this, let us take an example to understand. You must be seeing the map of India here, which says, let's take an example of per capita income. To calculate per capita income, we want total population and national income. For per capita income, we will divide national income and total population. We'll get average income of the economy. let's say we get the average income as 30,000, and it can be said that a person can have a 30,000 income. All the people in the economy are having 30,000 income. No, we can't say that. So the result which we get from per capita income is on an average. We cannot say that all the individual in the economy is earning 30,000 per month. Statistics can be misused by individuals. How we can say the statistics can be misused? Statistics can be misused by economists and statisticians for their own use. If they want to modify the data to show the results which they wanted. For example, that they want the inflation rate to be set at 6% in the economy. To set this result, to conclude this result, they have to modify the data according to them. So yes, statistics can be misused by the individuals. So nextly, experts can only use the statistics and the other people, the lay persons, cannot use it properly. This is one of the limitations of statistics that says that only experts can use statistics. The quack people, who are quacks? Quacks are the people who do not have any knowledge of statistics. These people cannot use, analyze and calculate the data which is required in the economy. It is only in the hands of the experts who can calculate and analyze the statistical data. So this is one of the limitations. Lastly, data should be uniform and homogeneous. This can be explained with a very good example that can you compare a height of a tree with the height of a man? No, it's totally unique, right? So statistics says the data should be homogeneous, but in real life we face many data which are heterogeneous, and there it comes the problem to calculate, to analyze the data. So yes, statistics has this limitation that data should be homogeneous only, and if the data will be heterogeneous, there will be trouble in statistics. So I can say thank you for watching for today. Keep watching the videos and do like and subscribe if you like the videos. Thank you.